My name is, and I am the person you should consult for anything and everything that has to do with XRP. To put it another way, I am the professional you should consult. All of the information that you have been receiving from the XRP army up to this point is directly contradicted by the information that is contained in the warning that I am about to offer to you today. In spite of the fact that I am conscious of the fact that this will cause many folks to experience unease, it is of the utmost importance that you continue to pay attention to this information. Our proprietary trading algorithms have identified a situation that has the potential to set off a historic liquidation cascade. This cascade has the potential to become a historic event. For as substantial XRP holdings, which are more widely known as whales, are involved in this peculiar structure to a substantial degree. Our algorithms have found a condition that has the potential to have a large influence, and when combined with blockchain research and data from on-chain transactions, they have identified this situation. Flow. There is no intention to incite fear. Rather, this is the outcome that the astute investors anticipate will take place. A shakeout that is carried out with the purpose of removing leveraged positions from the market, as well as regular investors who are unaware of the situation. A shakeout that is extremely well planned and carried out. It is not possible to misunderstand the charts in any manner. As a result of the fact that we have been keeping an eye on big sell orders on derivatives exchanges, the shift of massive XRP wallets to centralized exchanges, and patterns in leverage positions, we have arrived at the conclusion that a significant correction is occurring in the near future. It should be noted that this is not a slight decrease in price. Rather, we are discussing the possibility of a 90% loss from the levels that are currently in place. It is absolute necessary to keep this in mind. There is a risk that the price of XRP might momentarily drop to levels that a lot of people perceive to be incredibly cheap, such as somewhere around 20 cents or even lower. This is something that could happen. As a result of this, it is of the utmost importance to have a solid understanding of the tale that lies beneath the surface before the situation becomes fraught with panic. It is not the end of the story after this drop. It is just the beginning. Preparation is of the utmost significance in this situation. The market is currently undergoing a procedure that is known as strategic clearing, which involves the elimination of weak hands and positions that are overloaded. This process is currently proceeding at this very time. Soon. Therefore, this is building the framework for a fresh new era of accumulation and, to tell you the truth, growth that has never been seen before. This is a first of its kind. In other words, it is comparable to the circumstance, which is to say that it is analogous to the last-minute garage sale that takes place before the mother of all squeezes. The massive holders are getting ready to buy coins at prices that are at an all-time low, and the repercussions of this will have a ripple effect that will create the groundwork for the subsequent bull run that they will have following this event. We should look into the facts because this is the moment at which things start to get fascinating. In light of this, let us study the facts. The data that is stored on the blockchain reveals that clusters of XRP are moving from private wallets to exchange wallets in proportions that, historically speaking, coincide with big sell-offs. This migration from private wallets to exchange wallets is occurring. This is shown by the fact that the amounts are fluctuating across the board. The occurrence of transactions of this sort is not typical for the natural world. The whales are the ones who are orchestrating all of these movements, and they are positioning themselves to have the biggest substantial impact on the market that they possibly can. In the meantime, the derivatives markets are exhibiting expanding sell walls, particularly in perpetual futures and options. This is becoming increasingly apparent. In order to initiate cascade liquidations of leveraged long positions, these sell walls are constructed with the goal of provoking such liquidations. Each margin call and automated liquidation contributes to the acceleration of the downward trend, which will ultimately result in the loss of the casual investor, while simultaneously creating a liquidity vacuum for the smart money to fill. This will ultimately result in the loss of the casual investor. It is certain that the casual investor will suffer a loss as a consequence of this. Due to the fact that the event has been thoroughly planned, it is of the utmost importance that the timing be flawless. The occurrence of such arrangements occurs immediately prior to a phase of statistically significant accumulation, as is consistent with the patterns that have been seen throughout the course of history. Taking this into consideration, it is possible to draw the conclusion that the phase of the decline that is the most severe could be the phase that comes before a major surge. Now that we have established that the market is significantly impacted by sentiment in addition to the numbers that are being traded, let us move on to the topic of psychology. Fear is a tool that the competent trader uses in their arsenal, and they use it to their advantage regularly. The practice that is known as panic selling is what makes it feasible for large holders to buy coins for a price that is a fraction of what they were initially worth. This is because the method is what makes it possible for them to sell their coins. This approaching shakeout is being carried out with the purpose of intimidating regular investors into liquidating their holdings. In this way, it will be certain that the investors who continue to participate are either experienced traders or buyers who are able to spot. It is important to note that this panic period is precisely the kind of market activity that takes place before to significant growth, despite the fact that it may feel like a catastrophe. The reason why it is of such great significance is because of the process of cleansing. After the liquidation cascade has been completed and the weak hands have been removed, we reach what I like to refer to as the hidden accumulation phase. This is the point at which hope enters the narrative. In conclusion, the opportunities for future earnings are increased in proportion to the decrease in the value of XRP. The role of hope becomes apparent at this point. The price of XRP starts to stabilize at this point, and as a consequence, astute investors begin to accumulate coins at discounted levels. As soon as prices reach this position, they start to become more stable. When it comes to the history of cryptocurrencies, this time period has been the forerunner to some of the most significant price increases that have ever occurred. Price increases of this magnitude have taken place in the market. The post-crash rise has the ability to drive XRP to core fluently unfathomable, according to a number of analysts and insiders who have been studying the fundamentals of XRP and its network adoption. They believe that the surge has the capacity to propel XRP to heights that are currently inconceivable. We are talking about a goal price of $500 or higher, which is not being driven by speculation, but rather by actual liquidity, adoption, and the strategic accumulation that whales took out during the downturn. This goal price is being driven by these factors. The whales are the ones who are pushing for this goal price. Having said that, let us also take into consideration the larger environment that we are operating in. Market cycles, global financial instability, and developments in regulatory laws all come together to produce conditions that are ideal for this kind of shakeout. To tell you the truth, situations that are great for this kind of shakeout are produced when all of these factors come together. The impact of massive sell orders is amplified by a number of factors, including the influence of rising interest rates, concerns about inflation, and volatility in the cryptocurrency market, each of which has the effect of amplification. As a consequence, this has the effect of accelerating liquidations and, as you might have anticipated, contributes to the narrative of panic. If this confluence of macro conditions with on-chain whale behavior does occur, it has the potential to trigger the kind of market reset that is required for an explosive next leg in XRP journey. This reset is crucial for XRP to reach its next destination. The occurrence of this is extremely rare, yet when it does take place, it has the potential to trigger all of these things.